Imagine two factories. They both have the same workers and the same machines, but one factory produces much more output than the other. Why does this happen? Economists explain this using a famous model called the Cobb-Douglas Production Function. In the previous video, we learned about the marginal product of labor. We saw how adding one more worker can increase output. But in reality, production depends on more than just labor. Firms also use capital, like machines and equipment. This relationship between inputs and output is called a production function. A production function simply shows how inputs are transformed into output. In economics, we often write it like this: Q equals F of L and K. This means that output depends on labor and capital. Labor represents workers, capital represents machines and equipment. If a firm increases labor or capital, production will usually increase. One of the most famous production functions in economics is the Cobb-Douglas Production Function. It was developed by economists Charles Cobb and Paul Douglas in 1928 while studying the American manufacturing industry. The function is written as y equals a times k to the power alpha times L to the power 1 minus alpha. Let's understand what each symbol means. Y represents the total output produced. K represents capital, such as machines and equipment. L represents labor, meaning the number of workers. A represents the level of technology or efficiency, and alpha shows the contribution of capital to production. The main idea of the Cobb-Douglas function is simple. Output depends on capital and labor together. When a firm increases the number of workers or uses better machines, production increases. This function helps economists measure how these two inputs affect total output. To simplify the analysis, economists make a few assumptions. First, output depends only on capital and labor. Second, inputs are homogeneous. Third, markets operate under perfect competition. Fourth, technology remains constant. And finally, the model assumes constant returns to scale. So, the Cobb-Douglas production function explains how capital and labor combine to produce output. It is one of the most widely used production models in economics. In the next video, we will solve a numerical example using the Cobb-Douglas function step by step. If this explanation helped you understand the concept, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more simple economics tutorials.